I've been thinking a lot this morning about embodiment, and I found this message from Katherine Keeler that I'd like to read. Awakening is not the destination, embodiment is. Many people awaken, fewer integrate, and even fewer embody what they have seen. This is something that we do not talk enough about. Awakening is the moment the veil lifts. It's like being born again. It is realization, insight, and remembering. It can feel electric, emotional, overwhelming, sad, lonely, and even euphoric. But awakening alone does not change a life. This is where many people get stuck. They gather information, they chase truths, they relive the moment of awakening again and again, but their relationships, nervous system, health, or daily routine remains unchanged. For some, awakening is followed by what is called a dark night of the soul period, of when everything that once provided stability begins to fall away. Relationships fall or end, careers collapse, identities dissolve, belief systems no longer hold. For them, their entire life structure comes tumbling down at once. When this happens without support, grounding, or nervous system safety, it can create real havoc. Anxiety and panic, depression or disassociation, spiritual confusion, clinging to extreme beliefs, mistaking survival responses to spiritual truth. This is where many people get lost, not because they awakened wrong, but because their system was overwhelmed with too much too fast. The dark night is not a failure, but without integration, it can become a place that people live in instead of moving through. Integration is what allows the pieces to be rebuilt slowly, honestly, and sustainably. Embodiment is what comes after the collapse, when truth is no longer something you chase, but something you can safely live inside. The often unspoken stages of awakening. Number 1, awakening. You see. And then it consists of beliefs dissolving, old identities cracking. This stage can feel expansive, but also destabilizing. Number 2, disorientation. This is where fear, anxiety, superiority sneak in. Some people stay here, mistaking intensity for growth. Integration. This is the quiet, uncomfortable work. You begin to digest what you have seen, regulating your nervous system, relearning safety in the body, bringing insight into choices, boundaries, and behavior. Not everyone chooses this stage because it asks you to change how you live, not just what you believe. And number 4, embodiment. Embodiment is when the truth becomes who you are, not just what you talk about. It looks like calm presence, not urgency, discernment, not reaction, compassion without rescuing, wisdom that doesn't need to convince. Embodied people do not chase awakening, they radiate steadiness. Why not everyone reaches integration and embodiment? Many people do not integrate because they lack awareness, but because the cost of integration can feel unbearable. Shadow work is hard. It asks you to face parts of yourself you once survived by avoiding. It dismantles identities that kept you alive, even if they no longer fit. And often, integration coincides with loss. You may lose relationships that can't meet the new you, careers or roles that no longer align, belief systems that once gave you certainty, versions of yourself you once worked hard to become. For some, it feels like losing everything at once. When your whole world changes, the nervous system does not experience this as growth. It experiences it as threat. Change is hard. Grief is hard. Starting over sometimes more than once while still healing is hard. Many people reach this point and feel exhausted, disoriented, and alone. And in those moments, giving up can feel easier than continuing. This is why integration is not talked about enough. It doesn't look glamorous. You have to sit with yourself. You have to go within. Life looks like rebuilding slowly, like choosing to stay when it would be easier to numb, distract, or retreat. Integration is not about pushing through pain or burying it. It is about learning to stay present with yourself as your life reorganizes. And embodiment comes not from perfection, but from choosing again and again to live your truth gently in a changing world. Embodiment, when truth lives in your breath, your tone, your paces, and your choices. You don't just know differently, you move through the world differently. And the nervous system finally feels safe enough to rest. If you are in a season where everything feels unfamiliar, it doesn't mean you are lost, it means you are becoming. If this resonates, let it settle. There is nothing to rush. The deepest truths often arrive quietly and stay. Katherine Keeler from Lifting the Veil. So anyway, that really gave me some insight, because, awakening sounds great and all, but what do you do with it? What is the end goal? And it really is about becoming, Jesus talks about embodiment. I looked it up in 1 Corinthians 15. And, I guess that would be Paul, wouldn't it? Anyway, Paul talks about it. But God gives it a body as he pleases, and to each seed its own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of animals, another of fish, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and terrestrial bodies, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for one star differs from another star in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead. The body is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. See, obviously there's a process there that's describing what I just read from Katherine Keeler, the process of the death of the old and the birth of the new. They're all coming through this transformation. And so even the celestial bodies have to go through that transformation process, which I think is pretty cool. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living being. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. However, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, and afterward the spiritual. The first man was of the earth, made of dust. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As was the man of dust, so also are those who are made of dust. And as is the heavenly man, so also are those who are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the man of dust, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly man. So, I think about these terms that you see floating around about light workers and star seeds, and really, look at the imagery that was in 1 Corinthians 15. And the imagery is going from being carnal and natural and made of this low-frequency dust, really, to being a glorified light bringer, being clothed in light, a glorified man. So, really, you can get hung up on those New Age terms and shy away from it and be scared, but it's right there in the Word of God. There is a transformation that takes place that brings you out of that low frequency state of being, as low as dust. And, what did the serpent eat in the garden? He was cursed to eat the dust of the earth. Well, so we were made of dust. He was cursed to come after us when we're in that low frequency state. But we're called to transform and become glorified and clothed in light and become like the heavenly man and like the celestial beings. So there is a process, and the end goal is embodiment of all of those things, going from believing to knowing to being. And that's what we're called to, going from believing to knowing to being. And so there's, even in that death process, I've wondered, Lord, am I even saved anymore? Because, you go through this even death of belief thing because you're moving from believing into knowing. And then you have to learn how to embody that knowing and become that higher frequency that you've been talking about for so long. And it can feel like a death process. It doesn't make you stop being a believer. You're just transitioning. Believers have to believe until they get to a stage of knowing what they believe and standing centered and grounded and embodied in that knowing until they finally are manifesting and being all that they know. And so I just think that's really cool. It's right there in the Word of God. There is a process to this, guys. Anyway, love you. Have a blessed day. Bye.